Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MList. When it comes to cars, there's two types of people. Person number one is somebody who loves technology, somebody who buys the newest cars, gets them leased, gets them financed, pays a lot of money down just to get the best of the best that technology has to offer, and enjoy it every single day without thinking back. Then there's the second person who has a different definition of technology. This person thinks of technology as something of an engineering sort, an engineering marvel in its own regard. And that person would most likely be driving something like this. This right here is a 2011 BMW 1 Series M. This car is for those people who prefer purity, for the purists out there, for the enthusiasts who know what this is and they don't even have to say anything about it because this car speaks for itself. This wide front, these wide arches, these wheels, they scream purity. There's nothing extra in this car. As a matter of fact, there's not even a display out there. And in my opinion, that is the only spec that you should get. One that does not have the central iDrive system. This car was only produced for one model year. It only comes with one engine, which is the N54. Yes, the same one that's in the 335. And this car makes you think that you made the right decision every single time you not only drive it, but see it, because this car is like one of those babies. It's like a pet of a sort. Humans have a tendency to get things into their life which they can care for. This can be a dog, this can be a cat, could be a baby, or it could be this. And trust me when I say it, it's going to bring you more emotions and more love and more of an intimate relationship than you will have with any of those things. I don't care if your son is growing up and he's so good at football, he's great at soccer, he's great at all these things he does. This car is the greatest at what it does, and there's a reason why you've seen it and you've heard of it as one of the greatest cars, one of the purest BMWs ever produced, and yet you haven't driven it. Why? Because only 6,000 of these, 6,300 to be exact, were produced worldwide, and out of those, only about 700 made it to the United States of America. This makes this car one of the rarest M's out there, which are not a special production, just a regular M, and it's turned into what's known between enthusiasts as the purest M driving experience out there. For the gentlemen out there, and ladies, please close your ears for this one, there's two types of guys, and I'm sure you know, there's ass guys and there's boobs guys. I think this thing speaks for itself, and it tells everybody what kind of a guy you are. But even with this rear, you still have a front that's so wide that it blows something like this E90 out of the water. It is so much wider, it looks so much fatter, this car. It just looks so proportional. It is so well balanced, not only by the way it drives, which we're gonna get into very soon, but also by the way it looks. Everything about this car is balanced, it's very smooth, nothing is extra. These wheels, the fitment, it's all stock. This car is fully stock. There's a very particular reason why BMW only put the M letter here. They didn't put numbers, even though this is the 1 Series M Coupe and whatnot. They want you to know that when BMW M does their thing, this is what they do. They don't do anything extra. They don't give you any of those goodies like your limited slip electronically controlled differential, your xDrive that can also become rear-wheel drive. No. You just get purity, you get a 6-speed manual, you get a 6-cylinder turbocharged engine, which was the first for its time, and it was an ideology that BMW later ended up adopting into today because all of our M's are turbocharged essentially. But for its time, this car was truly a piece of art, and it still is, and it's only getting more expensive by the day. This vehicle is the epiphany of BMW's ideology, and specifically the ideology of BMW M. This particular BMW 1 Series M Coupe was lended to us by our great friends at Signature Pre-Owned in Kearny, New Jersey. A special shout out to Bismarck for making this happen. This car can be yours. It's for sale right now on the market and only has 12,000 original miles. And when I tell you that this is something that should be a part of your collection, even if you don't own a car yet, this is it. This car is something that everybody should have in their collection. I don't care if you have 30 cars. I don't care if you have 0 cars. If you have the opportunity to purchase this, which right now you do at Signature Pre-Owned, you should do it because this thing will not last long and this is something that's gonna appreciate. I know in accounting, they tell you car is a depreciating asset, it's a liability, it's not an asset. Well, this thing, it's an asset. It's an asset and a half, it's an asset. It's better than SPX. Why would you buy stocks when you could buy this? This thing is so much better of an investment. In 10 years, you're gonna skyrocket your value and you can drive it. You can't drive your stock, you can drive this. What BMW did with this car is absolutely mental. This was supposed to be like a parts bin car. They were supposed to take some of their newer engineering with the N54, some of their older engineering with something like the rear axle off of the E90 over there, and put it together and make it happen. But people loved it so much and the formula ended up working so well that these cars right now, you can barely find them on the market #1. And if you do, the price tag is gonna be so crazy. You're like, well, I'd rather buy a G80 M3. But the experience that you get with this car will blow the G80 out of the water. Like I said, it's for the purists. It's not for flexing on the girls. It's not for posting on your social media, unless your social media following knows their stuff. The 1 Series is not the kind of car that you're gonna take your kids in. It's not the kind of car that you're gonna take your wife in on a long road trip. It's the kind of car that you're gonna take yourself in as an egotistical piece of shit. You're not gonna tell anybody where you're going and you're gonna have so much fun on the way. You're gonna exit and you're gonna have a smile so wide that it's gonna last you past the regular 24-hour day. On the side, this car is a tiny little coupe. This is what inspired the modern day M2. The modern day M2 is like 1.5 times this size, so this thing is actually tiny when you look at it in person, but it looks so good. It looks like a tiny little bulldog that's ready to eat, like a German Bulldog. If there was one, this would be it. It would be biting you, it would be snarking at you, and it would make your life hell until you drive it, until you take it out on a walk, because that's where this car shines, that's what it's supposed to do, and that's where its environment is. When it comes to wheels, they can be compared to watches. It's a piece of art. It's a piece of art that you can use. They can tell time, just like these can drive you, but you can also admire them. And these are some of BMW's best work of all time. When I had my first car, which was the E90 BMW 325i, it had replicas of these wheels, but these being OEM and looking at them in person, they strike you. You wanna look at them, you wanna keep them clean. I would honestly eat off of these if I could. I would have a little berry on each tiny little spoke and I would pick it while looking at these because you not only get to pick the berry, but you also get to touch them, which is absolutely incredible. There's plenty of space in there. 2 bodies minimum are going right in. You're gonna have a great time. Space for your oil, your coolant, everything is right there, a little net. BMW did a great job. Of course, we don't have a spare tire, which is what you would expect from a performance vehicle. Speaking of the spare tire, you don't even get a moonroof on these. They weren't even an option because BMW said, well, you don't need one in a real M car. Why would you look out the top when you could look out the front and see the corners that you're taking? You fellas know that the best part of the BMW is up front, and the 1 Series is usually known to be one of the kinder looking cars. It almost reminds me of the 7 Series of the same year, where it was sort of softer on the eye. It wasn't so aggressive. But with the M, what they did with these massive wide arches, this car is probably one of the best looking cars of 2011. I think that this vehicle looks better than the E90. I think it looks better than the E60. I think this is one of the most aggressive and well put together fronts BMW made up until the F80. Under the hood, the 1 Series M Coupe features a very interesting choice from BMW. This was one of the first BMW M cars to come with a turbocharged engine. This is the N54, the same engine that you guys know from your videos of what's the best car under $10,000, get a 335. Well, the 335, E90 and E92 and the rest of them feature the same engine. This is refined by BMW M, of course. You get a little more power, a little bit of a different ECU tuning, but virtually it's the same exact N54 with the same problems once you start tuning it. But in this car, it's done so well stock and it's balanced so well together with its transmission and the weight of the vehicle, the weight distribution, and the whole entire thing flows so perfectly well that tuning this would almost be a crime. Please don't do it. BMW didn't do anything crazy extra with this car. There's no front splitter. There's just a simple cooling that you have. On the side, you have your typical BMW M stripe right here with the turn signal integrated right into it. It looks incredible. The side skirts are a handsome design. In the rear, you have this insane fitment with these wide arches. And in the back, probably the best part of this car, these exhausts. They almost look like pieces of jewelry. It almost looks like you could wear them on your chest and show off to the people that you have these beautiful, thick, manly quad pipes in the back fitting your BMW 1 Series M. Inside of this car, you get an experience that you cannot buy anymore. I don't care what kind of a new car you buy, there are no cars that are made like this anymore. Signature pre-owned, even put a little cellophane here to show you what's hiding beneath it on this 12,000 mile BMW 1M. Notice you have no screen up there. There's absolutely no screens. You get a simple shifter. You get a simple cup holder. There's nothing extra. You have a normal e-brake like a normal person, so you could pull it and hear it go when you pull it up. Simple light switch, nothing extra inside of this car. When I say this car is simple, it's simple in every regard. You get a simple BMW key from the E-Series, the same exact one any other E-car would have. No M logo, nothing crazy. Honestly, I haven't seen a single M logo on this car besides the one in the back, the one on the little seat cover, and the one right here on the steering wheel. Those are the only things here that scream BMW M, well, and of course the one on the shifter. But that's it. You don't get anything else. Honestly, when I say you don't get anything else on this car, I mean it. You don't even get an armrest. You don't even get a little thing here. This is just for a phone that used to be here and like coins or something. Maybe a roll of like, you know, a little dollars, but that's it. There's nothing else. There's not even a screen, which is the best part. If you guys remember in the 540 review, I said that I love an Audi TT interior. This is even better. Why? Because you get an analog dash, which also features the BMW M logo, by the way, but you get an analog dash, nothing digital. There's no technology in this car to prevent you from being disconnected with the road. Being connected to the road is what this car is all about. Purists don't care about telling people whether they have a special edition number 1, special edition number 66 or whatever. The only thing in this vehicle that tells you that this is some type of a special vehicle, besides obviously the M badges, is the stitching. The orange stitching that goes all the way throughout tells you that this car has something very special about it. And orange is the color of the 1 Series M Coupe. And you get it right here. You get it on the steering wheel. You get the beautiful M stitching on the doors, and on the dash is the orange, and it all flows so incredibly well that you remember that this is a very special vehicle, but you're not flashing it. What they say is that history repeats itself, and I think this is going to be the case with this car. No display. You have the simplest little multimedia here. Your climate controls, everything's a beautiful button that you can press. There's nothing extra. You have a gorgeous design with the Alcantara and the orange stitching, which is special to the 1M, going right in the middle. You don't have a display here, just your buttons, ESC, only the most important features. Your start stop with the key going in here, and guess what? This car won't start with the key not in there. If you press the clutch, this car won't start. You have to put the key in there. They even make you have a tactile experience that way. The steering wheel on the BMW 1 Series M is one of the best steering wheels BMW's ever produced. It's thick, it's very ergonomic, you have the right placements for your fingers. I'm honestly afraid to touch it because it looks so beautiful, you just want to admire it. But this car is one of those cars that you get and you drive. Even though it's an investment, yes, even though it's an asset that's going to appreciate, you still have to drive this car because you only live once. And it's like getting a girlfriend and not sleeping with her. Somebody else is going to sleep with her. You still have to perform your duties as a man, and this car is the same. You still have to perform your duties. When I say this car is for the egotistical guy out there, I mean it. Let me just show you what it's like to sit here behind myself in the back of this 1 Series M, something nobody's ever probably done before. I'm gonna sit right behind myself, 6 feet tall. Let's see this. Okay, so it's not the worst thing that's ever happened to me by far, but I could do this, but I wouldn't want to do this. You could put a kid here. You could put maybe 2 girls here comfortably. They would sit. There's plenty of space. It's actually really wide back here, but you don't want to be here for longer than maybe 45 minutes. There's not a central armrest, nothing going on, but you do have a beautiful view of that front, and you know that wherever you're going, you in the back are going the opposite side of where the front wheels are going. Everything in this car is analog. Even your seat adjustments are not electronic. You have to actually press and pull and push to adjust your seat. But once you do, you never want to touch it again, because this car, these seats, they hug you in so well that you don't ever want to get out of here. They are not overly supportive. They're not supportive, but at the same time, they're so comfortable for longer drives, shorter drives. This car will do anything you throw at it, and it will do it incredibly. This is the pinnacle of BMW M. This is the reason why BMW M is one of the best-selling sports brands out there right now in the world. It all is the ideology that's put into this car. There's not even so much to talk about inside. There's not any gimmicks, no quirks and features, doesn't drive itself from the key. This car is all about driving. So that's exactly what we're gonna go do. Starting this car is an experience so simple that it's almost like going to church. You just do it automatically. You stick the key in, you press the clutch in, make sure you're neutral, brake, start. You buckle up and you make sure everything is off. No AC, no radio, because that's exactly how you experience this car to its fullest. The shifter on this vehicle is one of the best feeling shifters BMW's ever made. If you've heard that BMW is sluggish in their transmissions, this car is quite the opposite. The shifts are tight, they're short, there's nothing sluggish about this at all. And like I said, this is completely stock. There's no short throw here. There's no transmission mount. Everything is exactly how it comes from the factory. And that makes this car so incredible. The tactile buttons here feel so sharp, they feel crisp. You feel like you're back in 2011 and you just bought this thing brand new, because this particular example with 12,000 miles, I mean, this is a time capsule and a half. Right off the bat, the steering on this car is incredibly tight. There's nothing electronic about it. It's a hydraulic steering wheel, the classic BMW, and this is the only steering wheel system that humans ever produced where you can feel literally every single feedback from the road, from those front wheels, straight to your hands. You can control everything on this vehicle with the input of your hands. It's not gonna counter steer for you on demand. It's not going to interfere with your driving. It's going to go exactly where you put it. And if it's into the ditch, that's where this car is gonna go. That's your mistake. Banging through the gears on this car, you hear that turbo. There's absolutely no lag. That's the most beautiful thing about this car, is that it's tuned to have absolutely no lag. The steering wheel only gets heavier as you drive it. It is so stable. This car wants to go straight, but at the same time, once you turn it, that's exactly where it's going. The rear listens. The rear is so short, it's snubby. Like I said, it's the German Bulldog of the bunch. This car just wants to grind itself into the turn and put you there without killing you. But at the same time, if that's what you want, that's what it's gonna do. It listens to you. Humans in this world have social media, they have phones, they have so many distractions, and this is the only car out there that allows you to completely disassociate from all that distraction world, from all of the crap that's influencing your mind every single day. When you drive this car with no radio, with no electronics, all you have is you, this beautiful turbocharged N54, and the road. And this car makes sure that you remember every single moment behind its wheels. The turbocharger sounds so good. The blow-off valve is there. The engine feels like it's literally in front of you. There's nothing about this car that you don't want to hear. Literally every single piece of sound, the suspension working, everything sounds like it's supposed to sound. This car behaves so well, and even for somebody who doesn't drive stick too often, it feels so intuitive in this vehicle that you can almost make no mistake, because it just feels so natural. Everything about it feels incredible. It feels short and thick in traffic. It feels like people are respecting your presence, but at the same time, you're able to maneuver yourself in and out. You definitely feel those wide arches, 100%. Even the horn on this car sounds like it's a little baby. It doesn't sound German at all, but guess what? It's a little baby that's gonna make your life so fun that it's never gonna grow up into an adult, and this is the baby that you can keep yours forever in its pure form without it growing up and giving you all the bullshit later with all the clubbing and all the fake ID bullshit that kids do. The brakes feel good, they're sharp, they're responsive. You just press them a little bit and you know exactly what's gonna happen to the car. The balance on the brakes feels incredible. This chassis feels very nice. It almost feels like if you took an F87 and you mixed it up with the 335, but smaller, tighter, and just M-ified. If BMW M division did their thing on this even more than they did on the F87, this is what you get. This car is for that piece of crap who doesn't want to tell everybody he has money, but he wants to imply. It's kind of one of those things like, if I win the lottery, I'm not going to tell anybody, but there will be signs. This is the sign. This car, you can pick up your girlfriend in front of her father, who's an Italian mobster, and tell him that your girl is gonna be so safe, and then take her out and absolutely mash it down his street, and nobody's gonna be afraid because it looks like a cute little German Bulldog that everybody wants to pet, and yet this thing will cause so much ruckus that the entire neighborhood of Alpine, New Jersey is gonna know that you're in town. This is the Turbo S of BMW. It's the kind of car that everybody knows, but nobody talks about. This car brings everything to the table that it should. It brings you a turbocharged 6-cylinder, brings you a 6-speed manual, an incredible BMW transmission. It brings you all of the handling you're ever gonna need. A small form factor to make sure those corners are afraid of you and not vice versa. And it looks so badass doing it while remaining understated, but yet being such an incredible financial investment that this car will bring you such great returns when it comes time to pass it on to your grandchildren that you're gonna be like, holy shit, thank you, Peter, for telling me to buy this. Thank you guys for watching MList. My name is Peter, and this was the incredible E82 BMW 1 Series M Coupe that you can yourself go ahead and buy over here at Signature Pre-Owned in Kearny, New Jersey.